a bit of an experimental video, this one. I've got a few things to try. I've got a couple of Rode M5 pencil mics that have been lent to me, so we'll see how they go. I've got singing sax from 60 for Sax. The student is playing this at the moment, so might as well give that a whirl. But also ABRSM exam time, sight reading. So how about we take singing sax and we go through the little drill that I like to use for approaching a sight reading piece. So you do your exam, you get given a piece of music, you've never seen it before, and you got to try and play it within that 30-second kind of buffer where you look at it, maybe have a bit of a play, and then play it for real. So singing sax, the first thing that you should look at is the time signature. Now we have 4/4 time. That doesn't tell you much other than how many beats you got in a bar, so your strong notes and your weak notes. So to go with that, we also need to look at the tempo. And what have we got here? Crotchet equals 92, so maybe roughly around there, it's about 92. Andantino cantabile e con rubato, but we'll just keep it to this. Okay, but this isn't the end of it. We have 4/4 time. What are our subdivisions? So in this piece, we got a lot of quavers. Okay, no semiquavers. So you can just keep it to your 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that is your rhythmic vocabulary. It's really, really important to settle into this, because by doing this, you suddenly realize, it's too hard. I can't go this fast. Imagine a fast piece, and you look at it and you go, whoa, well, there's no way I'm going to sustain that. So you wind it back. So you got this 1 and 2, and you don't want to go faster than the prescribed tempo. So in this case, only crotchet equals 92. But of course, if the opposite is extreme, if it's a slow piece, you don't want to go too slow or too fast. You want to you want to make a good showing. You don't want too many mistakes. All right, so what comes next? Well, students always like to look at the key signature, but that's not super important next to the rhythm, okay? You got to get that pulse. So you look at the music, get this idea. Quavers, 1 and 2 and 3, and are there any tricky rhythms? No, it's just you got to maintain that 1 and 2. And then we look at the key signature, okay? So eventually you want to know what notes you're playing. So we're going, what are we in? We're in G major, so we're going F sharp in the key signature. And then you might want to scope out where those sharps are. So, look at that, the second note of the piece, F sharp. So, da, F sharp, ba, dum, ba, 2 and 3 and 4 and. So hopefully that is enough to play the piece. You look for any tricky parts, etc. That'll only take you so far. That will give you X number of marks out of whatever it is, 20. Now you want to spot the details. Okay, so we've got this kind of singing style. It says expressivo, so it's kind of just, it's quite lush and it's expansive. And then we've got some slurs, so little details of slurs, so you're tonguing and slurring. Ta, tu, 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 and then of course we've got our dynamics, right? So that's extra level of detail. It starts on mezzo forte, so just a moderate volume, and then it goes quiet, and and then there's a mezzo piano, so get a little bit louder again, and then later on there's a crescendo, so you might as well play that up and make sure the crescendo happens. But really, you want to just be musical about it, okay? A bit of musicality. Obviously, if the piece is quiet and you go off and blast it, it's going to be a bit of a problem. Oh, my ATSD fell over. Oh. Alright, so. Oh dear. Piece some Lego back together. Alright, and then we keep on playing. And you got your details like, let's some mezzo staccato show up. So we've got this bum, bum, bum. Of course, staccato means detached, so slight detachment. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, that's a lot of information. And somehow you got to condense that all into a bit of a 30-second play it a little bit, play some hard bits, and then you go, okay, examiner, I'm going to play it for real. And then you give it a go. All right, so let's just give it a go. So now we're actually going to try and play the piece. so let's see how far I was off on 92. Okay, it's a little bit quicker. So the problem with that, I can't sing pitch. Problem with that is you kind of lose your expressiveness if you're starting to motor along a little bit. Okay, so if we went this tempo, get recap. Okay, you miss the opportunity to do a bit of the rubato. So the rubato is you're stretching out and stretching the tempo and then bring it back into your original tempo, stretch it slower and then just bring it back to your original tempo. So if you're already going quite fast, I guess all we've got is to retard a bit, quite a bit. Okay, so it's getting a little bit on the erratic side, but remember, it says a crotchet circa 92, so it's about 92. So yeah, this is not something that's set in stone. Alright, so what do we got? Some special features in this piece. Okay, hopefully you heard the expressiveness. So we're really playing up the airflow. How do we do that? Okay, we're pushing with the stomach muscles. Okay, excuse me, I got a cold instrument. I mean, I love this instrument, but there's a little tone hole that if it's cold and the condensation gets in there. Alright, so we've got to play up the airflow. So we use our stomach muscles. Okay, you're kind of heaving out the air. So on a macro level, we want to do that within the phrase. So that is all me working the stomach muscles to push here, and then we back off. So that gives you expressiveness. Alright, and then we've got some slurs. I guess the more interesting thing of this is this mezzo staccato. So it looks like a contradiction when you have a slur and a staccato mixed together, but really it's still a detachment. Okay, it's mezzo meaning medium, like mezzo forte, mezzo piano. We've got medium staccato. So we still have detachment. That's the key part here. Staccato means detachment. We've got separation between the notes. So if you had like normal staccato, maybe you'd have something like this. No, they don't want that. That was something a little bit more like that. So just this kind of like pom, 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 that kind of detachment. And then later on there's actual tenuto. So then you really get your smooth stuff. So we have a big slur. So then your tenuto show up. Now you're going to tongue those ta, ta, ta. I always like to think of those as slightly needed. So it's ta, 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 ta. So you're kind of leaning into them a bit in the middle of the note. And of course, the traditional explanation is it's full length note. But I like to give them a little bit of a need, a little lean into it. So then you have this loud, then this little echo. If I play the right notes. And we keep going. Oh look, we have our first explicit tempo change. So we've got this ritardendo, gradually getting slower. Now, rubato kind of implied that we've been doing this kind of flexing tempo anyway. But this one, they kind of slapped us in the face with it. They wanted to go slower. And then meno mosso, it's slow to the end. It's a bit of a lullaby ending. I probably should be gentler with my exits. Let the air just taper away to nothing. And then the examiner will say, oh, well done, bravo, bravo, and give you, was it 30 out of 30? Oh, no, it's sight read, so only 20 out of 20 for this one.